Yo, what's up, baby? This is Bert Watson, and you're listening to Radio MMA, because this is what they do and why they do it, baby, all night long, because they rolling hard, fast, and on the money.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the show, and now we're being joined by the creepy Weasel. How's it going, Steve?
It's going really well, man.
I'm going to kick the show off by bringing up a bad memory, so bear with me here.
All good.
You're coming off a loss against Tony a few weeks back. Just talk about the fight for the fans that missed it.
It was a wild fight. I mean, even the ones I win, and they're always, entertaining. No matter what, I think it definitely showed that regardless of what the outcome is, I'm always going to go out on my shield. Your best teacher is your last mistake. So I made a couple of mistakes this year, but my heart and mind were in the right place. So all I can do is keep the same positive attitude and learn from it. It's not, I'm not a delusional person. I see the mistakes that I made, and I'm changing them. So I'm in such a good mental place now. I have really big plans for the future, good plans. I guess all I could say is, Dos Anjos, TJ Dillashaw, and I'm sure other champions lost their UFC debuts, so I'm not worried about the future.
Okay, Steve. Right now, you're in training with Glover Teixeira, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm up here in Connecticut right now.
Oh, very nice. So just talk about helping him get ready for OSP and how things are going.
They're going awesome. I mean, I met Glover a couple of years back when he was doing a lot of camps in Florida, and he's got his own gym up here and a really, really good group of guys around him. Got some really good coaches, and I helped him a little bit for John Jones last year, and he really started focusing on his gym after that fight. So I was actually out in Vegas for the tough finale and for the Robbie's fight and everything, and
Sure.
I saw Glover at the weigh-in. And we got to talking right away because he's such a good guy. And he was like, man, well, actually, I'm fighting a super tall southpaw August 8th. I know about OSP. And he was like, dude, I'd love to have you come up and help me train. So he set it up, put me on a flight. And I was here 2 weeks later. And the training's going awesome. He's in ridiculous shape, man. I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but I can't say enough about how hard he's working and the type of training he's doing. It's very smart, intelligent, but tough training. He trains like a champion.
Good to hear, man. Good to hear. So I'd ask you about this Reebok deal, but I don't want to see you get fired. What's your take?
It's all good.
What's your take on this Stitch Duran thing?
I take everything with a grain of salt, because I'm not there, so I can't truly judge. But I'll tell you one thing, just to say before that, luckily enough, regardless of losing that fight, losing sucked, and it definitely took the cherry off the top of the sundae. I hate losing.
Yeah.
But fighting in the UFC in my hometown, or my second home state, Florida and South Carolina, fighting in Florida in front of so many friends and so much family, my gym, my team, it was almost like fighting on the show, but on a live UFC card. I got to experience one of Stitch's last UFC cards. I got to experience a show where you didn't have to wear Reebok, so I got to represent my family, my gyms, all the gyms that have helped me over the years, ATT. I got to walk out with my South Carolina flag. That, number one, was amazing, being able to do it the last time it was available.
Sure.
But, at the end of the day, Dana has always done right by me in the sense that he's given me second chances. He's been very cool to me. He's always spoken to me pretty directly when we've had the chance. So, I mean, I can't really say his intentions. He's done a lot for the sport, so, maybe his goal is, in the end, to truthfully give the fighters more money than they would have had with the Reebok deal. And, I just don't know what he's dealing with. I don't know why he might, at the end of the day, and it's probably the last thing that happened, but Stitch could have stolen Dana's club at the girl, or stolen Dana's girl at the club 10 years ago, and Dana doesn't like him since. I don't know their personal dealings, but it does suck, but Stitch is okay. Stitch can get work anywhere. He's an awesome cut man, so I'm sure the amount of support he's gotten is going to, keep him going strong. So I think in the end it'll work out good for both parties. I think the fighters might get paid more. I think the UFC will still be the biggest promotion, and I see it working out.
I was going to originally ask you about your health, and then I read that you were helping Glover out. Just how are you feeling right now?
I'm good, man. I'm getting really strong. I don't know if I've technically announced it yet, or I tell anybody that asks me. I'm going to 185. I'm letting my body grow as it wants to. I'm lifting a lot of weights. I can let my head rest because what people don't see is before that fight, and I'm sure it could have been the same for Tony. Is there was so much training. I really, before that fight, I had not been out of a training camp and been out of a peaking point in my body since Halloween of 2014.
Wow.
Right after I fought on Halloween, I found out that I was probably going to be on the show, so I kept training. I peaked for the show. I had the seizure incident on the show and didn't get the fight, so I was trying to schedule a fight right after that, so I stayed training. So I accumulated a lot of small injuries, tendonitis here and there. You get little injuries, so I'm just healing from that, lifting weights, eating really good, but eating a lot, just growing. If you saw me right now, everyone who sees me can't even believe that I've ever made 70 in my life. But I'm big and getting strong and training literally with the best in the world, it's awesome.
Them not allowing IVs after weight cuts, did that influence your decision?
No. It might have influenced other people's, but my whole goal, I was going to 185 pounds after that fight anyway. Most of my coaches and all my friends say, bro, you need to go up. And I say, I want to, but right now the UFC needs me at 70. So as soon as I get my foot in the door, I'll win one fight at 70, and then I'll go up. So I was going to make a lot of halftime adjustments after that fight. I did not want to get scored on before halftime, but it's okay. I'm coming out strong in the second half.
Nice.
So, the IV, it really didn't matter to me. And at 85, I'll literally be able to eat steak and pizza 3 nights before weigh-ins and then just go sweat and make the weight, and I'll be a lot stronger, a lot healthier, and honestly, man, a lot faster than most 185ers, in my opinion.
Very good, man. You have to eat to be happy, right?
Agreed. It's just, you know what? I'm done on fight week trying to treat myself like a runway model, like I'm going to walk across the stage. Right. I want to be eating like a Viking preparing for Valhalla. You know what I mean? I want to be feeling good, enjoying it. I'm a fighter, not a model. I don't care. If I got up to 210 pounds, I felt good and like that was my prime weight, then I would fight at 205 and only cut 5. I'm done cutting weight. I'm going out there to, either put someone away or, go out on my shield.
A lot of the ATT guys were out in Vegas, UFC 189 weekend, the Ultimate Fighter finale. How crazy was that, the fans at that fight card, UFC 189?
Dude, it was ridiculous. It was so loud. The production was pretty unbelievable. They had the live walkout, the live music while they were walking out.
Right.
McGregor, man, I got to say, for all the crap McGregor talks, he's done a lot for the sport, and, he brought a lot of fans out there. The Irish fans came up to me and were they were so drunk and having a good time. You could tell this was like the biggest thing they've done in 10 years, and props to them. They came to Vegas, they got, good tickets and good seats, and then they were throwing $50 at me just to keep me hanging around so I gamble with them because I don't gamble.
Nice.
They were just, trying to take pictures every 30 seconds. And, the fans, when McGregor won, dude, they just literally, it started raining beer. I was actually sitting with Laborio, and he was like, hey, man, we got to go before this turns into a riot.
Right.
And luckily it didn't, but we got out of there before his interview. But, big fight for me. The main event for me was obviously Robbie. He's such a good guy and such an inspiration. And to see him get that kind of legendary performance and to be there for that, the whole team was there. We got to eat the big team dinner the night before. It was just so great to be a part of that. It was honestly like it was a dream come true just being a part of that experience.
Yeah, man, that Robbie Lawler fight, that's an instant classic. That fight with Rory was unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
And it was full circle.
Yeah, for sure.
It was awesome. It's ironic, too, because the first ever MMA fight that convinced me MMA wasn't pro wrestling and was really cool was Robbie Lawler versus Chris Lytle. So it was a little mind warp for me, too.
Up next for Robbie is apparently the natural-born killer at UFC 194 is the story I'm hearing. What'd you think about that matchup?
I think it's good. I was surprised by it. Condit's a stud, and the UFC likes him for good reason. And I'll tell you this, the Thiago Alves he just beat was one of the best Thiago Alves I've ever seen. Pitt was in amazing shape for that fight, and I still, would say it 100 times. He was doing great till he got clipped. I personally believe when it really comes down to the actual title picture, I don't think Condit's earned it yet, but it's still an amazing fight, and he's still a worthy opponent. I think it's going to be sick. I had heard some rumors, some talk around the gym from some of his coaches that might be who they were putting him against, but I didn't think so. I thought they would have gone with the Hendricks rematch, but I think they want to give Robbie another fight that'll look like that Macdonald fight where he can really go out there and fight.
Right.
And, any kind of wrestling is going to involve ground and pound, not just sitting on the cage trying to get back up. So I think they kind of did it for the quality of the fight, for the style of matchup, and I think it was smart matchmaking. But I personally think Robbie's going to crush him, and I don't think that's being biased. I just think Robbie's a better fighter. He's a lion, man. I mean, his coach Pena told me in Vegas the day after the fight. He said, I don't think people truly understand until they get in there that they are actually going to have to kill him to stop him. I mean, literally take a knife, take a gun, shoot him. He's such an animal. He's a predator out there.
Were you surprised after the fight with Rory that when the judges' scores came out that Rory was winning the fight 3-1?
I was. I thought the first round was really close. I think it was the second round that Robbie really took over, and then in the third, was it the third that Rory rocked him? The end of the third?
Yeah, I think so.
I think this is how I had it. Here's how I had it, and I think me and Lebo were scoring it the same.
Okay.
First round could have gone either way. I personally gave it to Robbie, but I'm biased. But I do think Robbie had a little more viciousness in the first round. I judge fights off damage and who's trying to do it. But obviously I thought Robbie won the second. I thought Rory won the third. I thought Robbie won the fourth, and it was on the fifth. I didn't think it was 3-1. I thought it could have been 2-2 or maybe 3-1 for Robbie. But, that's the thing about Robbie, man, and it showed through. I think Rory wanted to finish. But at the end of the day, in a close fight like that, if it had gone to the fifth round, gone to the decision, you have to go with who was more effective at trying to finish the fight. Who tried the hardest? Who was more effective? I mean, if one guy's trying super hard to finish, but he's getting dropped doing it, then the other guy, obviously. But if both guys are dropping each other and rocking each other, but then in the fifth round, this other dude's trying to finish harder, and he's trying to finish, he's trying to win that fight, you have to give it to him either way. And I think it just showed through that Robbie had done more damage than the judges gave him credit for because it accumulated. And, Rory, unless his face was really busted up, broken, and hurting, he wouldn't have dropped him that punch. But It just shows the work that Robbie put in the first 4 rounds. When Robbie throws a jab, man, he's aiming at your cornerman. He's just going through your jaw or through your face to do it. He aims through you, and he lands it, and it hurts, man. It makes sounds. We could hear it from where we were in the crowd. We were sitting, not too far back, but I could hear him thumping.
Be interesting to see now how Rory bounces back from this, man, because that was a devastating finish. Yeah,
it was. I think he's smart, though. I think his coach Firas is really smart, and I think he's going to take the appropriate time off. And I mean, it wasn't as brutal, but his loss to Carlos Condit was a tough loss to take. And I think his first loss to Robbie, while nothing compared to this, was tough to take. And that kid, man, he's only 26. He's going to do big things. I mean, even if I was standing across the cage from him, I still got to acknowledge that he's a stud. I mean, right. I watch a lot of the things he does. He's a rangy fighter, and he's also very aggressive. So I try to take some things out of his book. But I'm excited for the next fight for Robbie, and hopefully he'll need more tall, lanky guys, and I can get some rolls in with him.
Before I let you go, just tell me, have any idea when you might be getting back into the cage?
There's nothing official, and this is just my wishes and dreams. If the UFC called me in 2 weeks, I would take it. Right. You're not going to tell them no. But I have good management. I personally think I have a good relationship with the UFC. They've always done right by me. So I'm hoping sometime in October, sometime in the fall, anytime in the fall when they need me. It gave me some time to heal up from a daggum, 7-month training camp, a disappointing loss. And not only did it give me time to get better from that, it's also given me time to put on weight to get way better. That's one thing, too. For as many weights as I've been lifting, that many more techniques I've been learning and really getting down in my reservoir. So I truly, truly expect a devastating win this fall.
Good stuff, Steve. Well, thanks for taking the time. Anything you'd like to promote on the show or throw at your social media?
Yeah, if people want to follow me and see what I'm about, Facebook.com/TheCreepyWeasel. I'm pretty sure I'm the Creepy Weasel on Instagram and just
Nice.
Weasel Steve
Yeah.
on Twitter. So, if you want to find out what I'm about, go there. I think that the Creepy Weasel cam is pretty entertaining for people that, want to follow the MMA world. I know a lot of cool people, and I try to tell what I can about them, tell my story.
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for the time.
Thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it. You have a great day.
You too. Enjoy your barbecue.
Yes, sir, brother.